video to announce my candidacy for the U.S. House of Representatives representing Louisiana District 3. That's a district that is made up of the former District 7 and portions of the former District 3. I'm making this video to introduce myself, tell you a little bit about who I am, and to tell you about why I'm running, and to briefly tell you about my platform. I'm going to try to keep this video brief, but I want you to know that there are other videos that will give you far more detail and be far more interesting on the different topics that we touch on. Now first, who am I? I'm a physician. I reside in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I practice internal medicine. I've been here for approximately 20 years. I was born in Thibodaux, Louisiana, grew up in New Orleans, met my wife there. We've been married for 30 years, and we're practicing Catholics, and we have 6 homeschooled children. We've been living in Lake Charles and enjoying raising our family here for approximately 20 years. Why am I running? I'm running because I believe that it is necessary. I think that there has been a widespread loss of confidence, not just in our federal government, but loss of confidence in our Congress. I think many, too many, believe that their representation is poor and that they are not well represented in Congress because of conflicts of interest. There's a widespread belief that large amounts of money changing hands in Washington affects a conflict of interest, large sums of money in the form of campaign contributions. This then undermines our representation, and I think undermines the confidence that we voters, we citizens have in our representation and in our government. I think it's important that ordinary citizens be able to serve in Congress. It's not, I think, appropriate or necessary that only career professional politicians have opportunity to serve in Congress. And lastly, I think that I want to run to help restore confidence in Congress and to serve the interests of the people of South Louisiana. Now, the basic platform that I would run on is one of, first, as I mentioned, that I would have no conflict of interest because I would accept no campaign contributions, and I will not spend any money on a campaign. Anything that I do will be by electronic media, by communication, by volunteer, by grassroots efforts. But I will not be soliciting donations, and I will not be spending money. And when I serve, I will not have conflict of interest that would be perhaps strings attached to the money that was given or any sense of obligation that I might have about where that money came from. Further, the platform that I would run on is a conservative platform. I consider myself a constitutional conservative. I believe in constitutional principles. For example, I strongly defend and advocate for the Second Amendment rights, and I think that other examples of constitutional principles that need to be observed are in Article 1, Section 9, Clause 7, that holds Congress responsible for any expenditure of funds from the public treasury. And by that I mean that I hold Congress responsible for our spending and for our debt. I think since the election of 2010, when the voters sent a clear message to Congress by sending conservative Republican representation, that from that time on we should have expected better control, better discipline in the spending. We haven't seen that, and I think that's an abdication of the responsibility. I think there is a responsibility constitutionally that is not being observed by allowing that spending to continue and allowing the debt to continue to grow. I am in favor of a free market economy that is pro-growth, and that in the private sector is where we will find the new jobs and job growth, and that's where our country will return to prosperity, not by any government programs or government stimulus. I'm staunchly pro-life. I believe that life begins at the moment of conception, and that it's government's role to protect and defend that life and these God-given rights. I'm opposed to Obamacare. I think that any socialist ideas of central planning for our healthcare system are wrong and are to be avoided and opposed. I'm in favor of immigration. I think that immigration is good for our country and it makes us stronger, and we should encourage immigration. But I think two principles need to be applied to any immigration policy. One is that the law must be observed and immigration must be done legally. Second is that we must observe and respect human dignity in regard to any immigration issues. I am in favor of a strong defense. I think a strong defense is our best protection and a best guardian of our peace. And I'm in favor of responsible government spending. I mentioned a little bit about excessive government spending. I think it's our Congress's responsibility as much as it is Obama, and the House of Representatives is responsible now as much as the Senate is responsible for the ever-growing debt and the ever-growing spending. And it's time, I think, that we put a stop to that. In conclusion, then, in this brief introduction, I am a constitutional, economic, and social conservative. I pledge to spend no money on a campaign, and I pledge to accept no campaign contributions. And in so doing, I can preserve an interest that has no conflict, and there will be no conflict of interest as I serve the public. I invite you to learn more about my positions on some of the issues that I mentioned. I learn more about how I intend to run the campaign and about why I think it's so important to run a campaign without the conflict of interest and without the campaign funding. You can find more YouTube videos, and I'll be circulating some of these to these same email addresses, if I may. And I invite you to contact me at my email, and that should appear on the screen in a moment. You can also call me. My phone number is 515-3856. I look forward to hearing from you. I would enjoy speaking with you about my candidacy or about any issues that you think might be important or that would be important for a candidate to know about. So thank you very much.